Hi, everyone. This is Babs from Listen to Your Inner You. I can't remember my name. And I'm here with Caleb.
Hi, guys.
Caleb has Pluto's gate. I can't talk.
It's okay. Don't worry about
it. Oh, my God. Okay, well, this is an unofficial video. We just wanted to briefly talk about how we met last year because it was kind of a fun story. So from my side, it was actually, I got introduced to Amanda at Create Your Future through Amy. And Amanda has this Facebook group. And then a couple of people were asking, hey, do you guys want to go in this private messaging? Just a couple of us. I think it was like 14 people, maybe 20. And I'm like, okay, I'll join. So I start reading them and everyone's asking a lot of questions. And for some reason, there's this Caleb dude and I had to message him. So I started private messaging him. And I don't know why, but I was really drawn to him. And I found out later on kind of why. He was manifesting Amy. And at the time, Amy wasn't taking new clients, I believe. And he was manifesting Amy, and since I'm one of Amy's year-long client, I think that's how we got closer to it. Mm-hmm. Because eventually I actually got him a session with her too, so it was kind of fun.
Yep, I remember the day that triggered all of it. I remember So a little bit of a backstory is I come from a family of people. My dad's side is very conscious of there's more to life than what we think. 9-to-5 jobs, pay your taxes, then you die. There's more than that. So when I was a kid, pretty young, 12, 13 years old, my dad started to introduce me to all of these books by these different metaphysical authors, Florence Scovel Shinn, T. Lobsang Rampa, and I read all of these books. But the issue was, first of all, I was a kid turning into a teenager, so that wasn't my top priority. Although I did find them fascinating, I did like to read them, but I just had read so many over a period of years until my early 20s that I knew about all this stuff, manifesting, conscious creation, all these terminologies people use, 3D, 5D, but I wasn't really sure how to actually apply it. And I think what confused me so much was being fascinated by the information, but just reading so much conflicting instead of kind of sticking with a game plan that works. So one day I was having trouble manifesting SP, and I was outside the gym sitting around 3 o'clock in the morning, and I watched one of Amy's videos, and I don't remember the exact wording I said, but I just said somehow, some way, Amy is going to be involved directly in my understanding of how to apply this. And I didn't think any much of it. I honestly just thought when I said that, I'll just watch more, start to understand it. And then shortly after, that's when I met Babs through this strange orchestration of events. It was very, very bizarre how it all played out. It was kind of surreal, but it was fun. When you think about it, that's how orchestration works, right? You just don't know. Everyone is you pushed out. I was drawn in that group message, but then Babs was drawn to me. Everyone were each other pushed out. So it was a really cool, very fun experience to go through it. But that's how we met. Is I literally told myself, I was like, somehow, some way, I didn't even call her Amy. I just said, this woman is going to be a help in my understanding of this information. Because around that time when I made that statement, that declaration, that was when I was like, okay, I've read a lot of books about this stuff, and I started getting recommended manifesting videos. I was like, okay, I know what this is. I've heard of it. I've read many books over it, but I need to actually start applying it. And then that's when everything landed to where we are now. And it's like, when Babs started to teach me all of the stuff she did, I was telling her this earlier on the call. That was when I was making these very, very important connections where she would tell me something and I would think of a book from years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's she just made sense for me. That's what this author was saying. That's what this was being said here. And it all just started to click rapidly. I mean, just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's excellent. Before I knew deliberate manifesting a couple of years ago, I knew nothing about it. I have always been a dreamer. I'm very good at focus work because I visualize all day long. I'm a daydreamer. I'm a night dreamer. I'm all kinds of dreamer. And my mom always said, "Oh, you're such a dreamer. How cute!" And she loved it. And my dad would shut down my dreams, like, "No, you're never gonna get it." And I always got what I
right.
want. And then I found deliberate manifesting. I'm like, oh my God, everything makes sense now. It makes so much sense. And I manifested this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
I was so excited when I found it. But yeah, it was funny how Caleb and I met. Just because I can't explain to you how it happened other than I had to message him. I just had to. I didn't have a choice on the inside. Just was so drawn. And there were, like I said, 14, 20 people in that group messaging. And none of them drew my attention. And I didn't know what Caleb looked like. I had never talked to him before. It was just that. And it was Amanda's group. And I had just learned about pushed outs a couple of months before that. So we were talking about that. And then I started bombarding Caleb with all of the knowledge that I had.
Right. Yeah.
And I think sometimes he got a little overwhelmed because
Yeah. Well,
manifesting is my lifestyle. And I just go, blah, 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 and this and this and this. He's like, what? Slow down.
Yeah. It was funny because I'd ask a question and you'd be like, no. And you'd say, try again. And I give the answer, no. And that's why I keep telling people it was kind of like Abdullah, because Abdullah kept slamming the door in Neville Goddard's face. Anytime Neville Goddard.
Yeah, because I wanted you to learn it. I wanted you to understand it and not just me telling you because you kept asking questions. It's that pushback. I have another video of mine, but you sometimes get pushback from clients and friends and people that you teach this to. And that's pretty normal. But I wanted him to start thinking about what happened. What is the story behind what he's just telling me? What is the reason why this is coming up? I wanted him to start thinking for himself instead of just me giving him the answers all the time. So I started just saying, nope, I'm done answering that. Figure it out. And then 2 minutes later, he's like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, I remember. You see, and that's what's really important. That's what I talked about before, because I've made a post about you in the group before, and the one on YouTube I've made. It's really important to understand that there's a big difference between reading and watching this information versus actually applying it.
Oh,
and you see, sure. And that's where Babs was a huge help in my overall just experience with it, was because she taught me how to apply it, because I had read this stuff for years and it was a lot of conflicting information from different authors, but she taught me how to actually apply what I learned, and that's what I have to remind sometimes people in sessions. I have to remind them that you shouldn't be booking a session with a coach just because you want them to tell you the magic thing you want to hear. Like, you have to be willing to change your life. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you have to be perfect all the time, but you have to put in a conscious effort to make the changes. That internal in here, because you and I both know once it changes in here, it changes out there. You know what I mean? And it's super important. I think a lot of people just don't understand that, okay, well, if I watch this one video, then I'll manifest my person. Well, it's a little more than that. Yeah, the video can be super helpful, don't get me wrong, but you have to watch it, but then start watching your inner conversations, your inner world, but also make the conscious effort to change it. If you want to see the change out here, you have to make the conscious effort to change in here.
And then we're talking about beliefs and core beliefs, and Caleb has millions of videos about that. I'm making videos about it, and that's really important. And that's not enough coaches actually teach core beliefs. So those are really, really important, because you can actually get a manifestation and then lose it because of your crappy core beliefs. Core beliefs are usually old beliefs from your childhood, or at least 10, 15 years old, that make you feel pretty worthless. That's short of it. But,
and it's like, you can try to not change a core belief, but you can try to not change it and keep a manifestation. But I think it's going to be a really huge battle.
you're gonna be miserable. I had
Yeah.
it. It happened to me. I lost my manifestation because I was miserable with myself. And you know what? It changed all my core beliefs, and I would never go back. Even if I
Yeah.
lost my manifestation, I would never go back to the old me.
I mean, I really think changing a core belief is something that you can really see, not just 3D world evidence, but internal evidence too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember I changed the core belief about my self-worth in relation to love. And I remember the very next day, I was actually talking to another friend about this recently. I had a lot of friends, like 4 friends that very next day, tell me my hair looked really nice and healthy. But before that, I remember even looking in the mirror and thinking to myself, why is my dark brown hair turning this like light brown, kind of, it just looked like I was stressed. You could
Mm.
just see stress in my body and my face. And then I just woke up one day, the next day, and I was like, holy crap, my hair looked really dark. And I was like, it looked normal like it used to, like very healthy. And I had all these people. I mean, it's fun. When you change core beliefs, obviously, I'm not going to say every single person's hair is going to change. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? But you will notice changes. You are going to look differently, I think, in the mirror.
Yeah,
You'll look
because it's
differently.
part of self.
People will notice. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's when you know there's so much more to self love than just it. There is a lot to it because there's so many ways to love yourself and accept
Yeah.
yourself. And it can take some time, honestly, but it's worth it. And core beliefs are part of it, part of loving yourself.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, Neville Goddard, I really like his teachings a lot. I'm not going to say he was the only great conscious teacher, but he was a very good one. But what do all the conscious teachers have in common, though? All of the ones from the New Age era, from the early 1900s beforehand, even modern, they all have a very common theme with them, which is
Gray hair.
whichever terminology they want to use. But like Goddard said, changing your self-concept, which to him translated into core beliefs, what you feel like you really are worth experiencing, whether it's love, money, health, whatever it is, they all put emphasis on that. It's very important.
Yeah.
They all share different names. They call it different. Not everyone says self-concept, but it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
It's really important. You know what I mean? It's I know it's difficult sometimes, or it seems hard to do that, because it's like what Amy says, Amy from Illuminating Joy, she says everyone wants their manifestation yesterday. And I think it's a great way to think about it. She's very right. But the thing is, you know, it really is important sometimes to focus back on yourself and just take a break from the thing over here. Because like how I tell people is this right here. Your self-concept, your core beliefs is like the foundation stone of the house. And when you're not changing those, it's like you're building up a house without putting a foundation there. So you get a couple of slabs up and then it collapses, and the slabs up and it keeps collapsing. You
Yeah.
need to build a steady core foundation for the house to lay on. You know what I mean?
Especially when you're manifesting a specific person
Yes.
and
Yes.
money.
We've learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learned that the hard way. It's very,
All
very
right.
important.
So I think that's a good way to end. We are planning on making a couple more videos together, and we'll probably talk more then. But Caleb
Yeah.
likes to talk a lot.
Sorry. I mean, I like talking about this
Not
stuff,
sorry.
but yeah, we'll make more videos. We'll do more videos over more specific concepts and
Yeah.
narrow down. But we thought it would be kind of a fun video to make, how the story of how we met and how this all started my channel, because I met someone who actually made the puzzle pieces make sense, come together basically. And then now it's starting Bab's journey on her channel, because she decided to start doing um, teaching conscious creation, manifesting, whatever terminology people want to use. But it's also the start of her channel too, because she wants to help get this information out there for people to change their life. It's very, if you can make the world a better place with one person at a time, makes you feel good about yourself. You can help people.
Yeah. Well, I've been teaching for a while, but I'm now
Well,
joining.
like public teaching,
YouTube.
yeah.
The YouTube world, I guess. But
Mhm.
all right. Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye.